everybody. Welcome back to the For the Gambia podcast. I'm your host, Pasirin Seka. I am here today at the campus of North Carolina Wesleyan College to talk to the head men's soccer coach, Mr. Frankie Dodou Taal. Frankie Dodou Taal is a Gambian, of course, and we'll be talking to him today. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our brother, Mr. Frankie Dodou Taal. Frankie, welcome to the For the Gambia podcast.
Welcome, Pa. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here on our campus.
Great. So just like we do with everybody, we'll just let you do a little introduction about who you are, what part of Gambia you're from, the schools you've attended, your childhood days. So if you can just go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and make this as short as possible. Well, my name is Frankie Dodou Taal. I'm from, obviously, Gambia, West Africa. I was born on 14 Buckle Street in Banjul, Afdai. And then I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Prior to coming to America, after 5 or 6 moves, we were living in Pipeline, right by the mosque. So basically, from Banjul, we moved to Dipakunda. From Dipakunda, we moved to New Joshua. From New Joshua to Fajara, and from Fajara to Bakau. So that's probably why I actually have a lot of friends, because we've moved all over, and everywhere we've moved as a child, I have joined a team in that area.
Right. I was also made aware of the fact that I'm from New Joshua.
Yes.
Of course, you know Coach Pasamba.
Yes.
He was telling me about your days at New Joshua.
Yes.
That you guys were under the under my uncle Lysona.
Yes.
Was one of your coaches over there during Kairaba days.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, Kairaba Avenue was the name of the team.
Yes, with
Kairaba United.
With the likes of Keba Mane and those guys. Yes.
Yeah, the late Jogab and Babu Ibu Kebe.
Yes.
Alan Sana, the goalkeeper.
Yes. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. So, we'll just go ahead and fast forward now to your stay in the United States.
Yes.
I'm aware that you did play some college football here.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, my college experience was actually one of the best experiences I've had in football, just mainly because the college at the college level here in the US, it is very organized. It wasn't professional, but the standards were professional standards, the facilities, the coaching, and everything that came around it. So, I was very fortunate. I went to Hudson Valley Community College for 2 years, and after that, I got a scholarship at a university in Tennessee, in Jackson, Tennessee, a school called Lombard University. However, when I got there, things didn't really work out quite as well. I wasn't eligible to play for some reason, so I ended up being redshirted. I sat that year, but it was probably the best thing that happened to me, because I ended up transferring. I still had 2 years of eligibility. So had things not gone wrong and had I played that 1 year, I probably wouldn't be here today, because I kind of believe that being here, my success and my journey has a lot to do with Bethany College. So from Lombard, I transferred to Bethany College, where I played along Star Sanyang, Seni, Male Sala, Dauda Njai, and my brother Elijah Tal was also on the team. We had other Gambians too that were around, Hecho, Cham, Siladi Jawara, Modu Jani, etc. But I was fortunate to have been a part of a great coaching staff and a good group of players. And we ended up winning the NCAA National Championship in 1994.
Great.
One of my greatest achievements in my entire playing career.
Good. So, did you play any competitive football back home?
Well, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I played. I never played in the first division. A lot of people actually think I played for Royal de Banjul. I really didn't play for Royal de Banjul. However, I was on vacation. I had a lengthy vacation. I was in Gambia for about almost 3.5 months. And during that 3-month period, I was training with the team. I was a member of the team, played in their preseason games. But unfortunately, I had to come back to the US before the season started. When I was much younger, I played in the 3rd division and in the 2nd division. Played for Jalo Plastic, which used to be Musanjai. It was a Navetan team, and then we played in the 3rd division. And then from there, I went and played for Dagudan. And I could have probably played for a number of teams, like Roots, for example. A lot of my friends played for Roots. But Usama always used to tell me that he really wanted me to join him at Roots with Wande and like Gode and all those other guys. But I just didn't want to play for any other team in the 1st division other than Real de Banjul. So, and at the time, I just wasn't ready to play for Real de Banjul. So, and I think, unfortunately, I left the Gambia when I was peaking.
Okay.
But I do believe had I stayed in the Gambia, I would have probably been a very good player at some probably for Real de Banjul.
So why Real de Banjul? Why not Hawks? Why not?
Because I'm a diehard Real de Banjul fan. I believe I'm the number 1 Real de Banjul fan.
Wow.
If you go to Banjul and talk to some of the older, our bigger brothers, if you just say Frankie, they will say, Ndobo mom diehard Real.
Wow.
So when I was a kid, I embraced the team. Why, I don't know. From as young as I can remember, when we lived in Buckle Street. I was born in 67.
Like, was it because of maybe a particular player that you liked that played for Real? That's why,
No, it wasn't that. I guess I was just chosen by the Almighty to be a Real de Banjul fan. Because I remember when we were young, living in Buckle Street, I guess the Real used to parade Banjul after every victory.
Yes.
So, and they would blow the horn, P, Real.
Right.
So all the kids will run after, we'll just follow this motorcade or whatever.
Right.
That's probably what made me a Real de Banjul fan. And then once I started watching them, then, I just fell in love with the team, and I loved the all whites, etc. So that's my number 1 team in the entire world. There's not too many entities or things that I love more than Real de Banjul. After my family, and close friends, and obviously, God the Almighty, it is Real de Banjul.
Wow.
Yes.
And I'm sure the Waliland fans are not going to be happy about this.
Yeah, Waliland, it's interesting. When I was young, I absolutely hated Waliland.
Of course.
My uncle, my dad's best friend, Uncle Fisco, was very kind and generous to me, but yet I would go and I would root against Waliland regardless of who they played. But as I got older, I think when you're young, you don't really understand what the word hate means.
Yes.
As I got older, I started to really appreciate Waliland.
Right.
So that hatred went away. But obviously, that's just that rivalry.
Yeah, it was just a rivalry.
It's big rivalry, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So coming back to your days at Bethany College, after your playing days, you stayed there.
Yes, after my playing days, it was very interesting. Let's talk about destiny. I got a degree in political science, and I remember doing my senior project in conflict management and resolution in Africa. I did my internship at the AU, and I actually was looking into going to either Sarajevo or the former Yugoslavia. At the moment, those 2 nation states were opening, the UN was opening new conflict management and resolution offices. And so, but then, my boss from my alma mater, my former coach, John Cunningham, called me and said, hey, I need an assistant coach. Are you interested? If you're interested, come over. So from that onset, I just said, you know what, it's an opportunity. I always wanted to play pro. But at some point, I realized I wasn't good or fortunate enough to play pro, so I figured the next best thing is to coach. So I took the opportunity, went to Bethany, and became an assistant coach. But that's how it all started.
And then later on, you coached the women's team.
Then I coached the women's team for a year and a half. And then got hired as the assistant coach here. I was the assistant coach here for 7 years under the guidance of Jason Kilby, who's a very good friend of mine. So I want to thank him for the opportunities he's given me. And then after he moved on, I was given the head coaching position. So this is going to be my 7th season as the head coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do we have any other Gambian out in the States here who is a head coach?
I have Malang Jaju.
Malang Jaju
is also another Real de Banjul product.
Yes, I know Malang, yeah.
Malang is coaching at Bethel College outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We also had another Gambian that was coaching. It's one of my role models, mentors, big brother, Louis Top.
Louis Top, yes.
Louis Top coached for a while, but now he is more involved in youth coaching with the clubs.
Right. And you were also involved in the like the DC team, like the ALDs,
Yes,
the July 4th,
Yes.
Yeah. Like, what can you tell us about that?
Well, when I came to the States, I spent half of my summers in DC, because my best friend Brian Samba lived there,
Yes.
and my other friends, Bass George, and then Liola George, Dowda Diba, the list goes on, and Charles Samba and all those guys. So I would go spend most of the summer in Washington DC, just because it allowed me to play with my friends.
Yes.
I was still able to play in New York, in the leagues in New York, but it was just more fun playing with the Gambian team, and we had a very good team. And it was a team that, at the time, I had an opportunity to play with former national team players that were still very good, such as Peter Prom.
Yes.
Was, in my opinion, top 10 ever in the history of Gambian football. Yes, to me.
Yes.
Maybe even top 5.
Wow.
He just never played in Gambia for a long period of time. I played with Mo Njai, I used to play for our young Africans, the late Ibn Njai Pat, who recently passed away, Joe Sambo. I'm talking about playing on the same field with these guys. So I was young, and everybody else on the team was probably 4 or 5 years older than me.
Was Joe Tennis there by the time?
No, Joe at the time was playing with the New York team.
New York team?
Team,
okay.
Yes, yeah. So my first summer in Washington, D.C., Maryland, was just an experience playing with those guys. And from the onset, I just continued to play with the D.C. team every summer. I was living in New York at the time, and the New York players were not happy with me at all, because I was playing in D.C.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, because everywhere I went around America, everybody would ask me, "Hey, how's DC?"
Right.
No, I don't live in DC. I live in New York. But because I spent so much time and played with the DC, but those were memories, because we won. I believe in those, I played with the DC team for a 10-year period. Probably won 15 trophies easily. Wow. We rarely lost.
Right.
During that time period, we had some good teams.
But there's word out there that you guys used to fix some of those fixtures so that you guys can go to the finals.
No, but you know what? But you know what? It's interesting, because when we go to Atlanta, we say the same thing.
Right.
But here's they can say whatever they want. But at the end of the day, we always ended with Atlanta in the finals, or one of the stronger teams.
Right.
And we would, in most cases during that time period, we never really lost the finals.
Right.
I remember, we never really lost the final, whether we went to the penalty kicks or we won it outright. Right. But that's just, it's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Now, coming back to the school here, North Carolina Wesleyan College, you were just saying you were offered the head coaching position after the previous coach left.
Yes.
I'm sure that must have been a very big moment for you.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that moment when you knew that you were going to be the head coach, which is probably one of your dreams?
Yes.
Like, how did it feel?
It was a great feeling. I can't describe it. It's just one of those feelings that you have to really experience it to really understand how it feels. Because as an assistant coach, my goal was to be a head coach.
Yes.
And not just a head coach, but a head coach of a prestigious program.
Yes.
When Jason Kilby alerted me that he was probably moving forward, he made it quite clear that he had strongly recommended to our athletic director that I become the head coach. So there was no doubt in my mind that was going to happen, and I was excited. I felt I was blessed. Like I said, it was just unbelievable. Probably one of the happiest days in my life.
Right.
Because for me, being a head coach at the NCAA intercollegiate level in itself is a prestigious job.
Yes, it is.
Secondly, being a minority and being from Africa and being from the Gambia, small nation, and coming to the United States and being a head coach of such a prestigious league and institution, to me was just there's not too many accomplishments I've had in my life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we're really proud of that.
Thank you.
And we continue to pray for you to have continued success.
Yeah.
Talking about success, you guys were the champions last year.
Last year, yes.
With a very good record.
Yes.
What can you tell us about last year's season?
Last year's season, actually, as well as we did, it was a little bit disappointing. We were actually co-champions. Mayerville out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yes.
Well, it's actually out of Maryville, but it's right next to Nextville.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up finishing 9-1, so did they. So we became co-champions.
Yes.
And then ended up playing at Maryville in
Mm-hmm.
the conference championship
Mm-hmm.
to get a bid to go into the NCAA, and ended up losing.
Mm-hmm.
Had we won that game, we would have gone into the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So it was a good, successful season. 9-1 in the conference. We
Yes.
finished 14-6 overall,
Right.
which to me is okay. It's
Mhm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good record. It's not a great record.
Yes.
So we kind of fell short at the end. But there's a lot of hope this year. The nucleus of the team is coming back.
Right.
We lost some key players.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that because of the fact that the core of the team is coming, especially the midfield,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we can kind of sort of replace those
Mhm.
players.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that we should win the conference, the regular season,
Mm-hmm.
and the tournament,
Wow.
and get into the ACA tournament. Our
Wow.
goal this year, we have 18 regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is to go undefeated, and in the worst case scenario, to finish 16-1-1,
Mhm.
16-2.
Mhm.
We obviously want to win all our games, but it's a tough league.
Yes.
It's a tough league, yeah.
Yeah. And with last season also, we've seen some of your players won individual awards.
Yes.
You know, somebody like Babukar Jai was
Yes.
the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
And you have like about 6 to 8 other players, you know, who
Yes.
won, you know,
Yeah.
some awards.
Yes.
Like, how did that feel as a coach, you know, seeing your, like, some of your kids being recognized
Yeah.
for, you know, what they've done?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me a sense of relief,
Mm-hmm.
because as a coach, you're a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and you're constantly teaching,
Yes.
and you're constantly seeking for improvement.
Yes.
And when you have, especially Babu,
Yes.
who was a freshman,
Mhm.
first year playing in the league,
Mm-hmm.
to be the Rookie of the Year, I think that was pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a number of players. AJ Wada was our top scorer. He was an all-regional player.
Wow.
He made all region,
Mm-hmm.
which means that he's probably in the top 33 players in the region.
Wow.
And then we had another player called Drew Witzel from Virginia, who was our captain. He was also regional All-American.
Mm-hmm.
So having those accolades, and we had an X number of all-conference players, I think that's a good representation of what we are doing here as a coaching staff. Obviously, I want to thank Coach Ryan Huber, who is now at William Pierce University.
Yes.
Was my assistant the last 5-6 years.
And that's in
Just got
Raleigh.
Yes, just got a head coaching job, but he was also very instrumental to our success. I
Right.
couldn't have done it without him.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've seen is the diversity in your team.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got players from all over the world.
Yes.
Somebody from, few guys from Iceland.
Yes.
You have guys from Argentina,
Yeah.
guys from Brazil,
Brazil.
you know, even
Gambia.
Palestine,
Yeah.
Gambia,
Got a kid coming in from Iraq.
from Iraq, you know. So
Yeah.
if you talk about diversity, that's what you guys have going
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
So, how does the recruiting process go? You know, do you actually physically go to these countries and recruit over there, or is it word of mouth? How does it happen?
It's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Physically going out there and also word of mouth. But from the onset,
Mm-hmm.
I had to develop some kind of relationships by traveling to these countries.
Yes.
So I have good connections. Basically, we had 2 Icelandic players that came here, 2008-9.
Mm-hmm.
So they came for a year and left.
Mm-hmm.
One of them transferred to some school in Florida, and the other one went back to Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
So we fast forward 2 years later, the head coach, Jason Kilby at the time, took a trip to Iceland
Mm-hmm.
and ended up recruiting a few guys. Those guys came, and more came.
Mm-hmm.
So as an assistant, I was around for about 5 years. We were getting an influx of Icelandic. Some of them went back to Iceland upon graduating and did very well. So when I took over the head coaching position, I realized that I got to continue doing what Coach Jason Kilby
Yes.
and I were doing.
Yes.
Why fix it if it's not broken?
That's right.
So I went back to Iceland. Fortunately, at the time, I was a little bit more fortunate than Jason, because by the time I started going to Iceland, we have had some graduates that were actually back in Iceland.
Okay.
So they hosted me, which made the trip a lot more inexpensive, fed me, and they just took me around the entire country to seek for players.
Wow.
So I've been to Iceland twice, went to Santiago, Chile twice, and Rio de Janeiro once.
Wow.
So those are the 3 countries that I usually travel to every year and a half to 2 years.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Now, with recruiting, we know that the NCAA has a lot of restrictions,
Yes.
of when you can go visit these kids, number of phone calls, and those kind of. Does that apply to you guys also?
No, Division 3 is a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay, because we're a Division 3 program. We don't have the same restrictions that Division 1 and Division 2 has. At the Division 3 level, you can go anywhere. Even at the Division 1 level, you can pretty much go anywhere and recruit.
Okay.
But they have some limitations that we don't have.
Right.
Basically, for us, if the student meets the academic standards, then it's open game. We can go after anyone we want.
Right.
So we tend to go after the good Africans, Europeans, South Americans that are not under anybody's radar.
Yes.
Nobody knows about them.
Yes.
Nobody knows
Yes.
how. That's how we all end up at Bethany. When I went to Bethany, I believe I could have played D1. Dowda could have played D1. Star for sure could have played
Yes.
Division 1.
Yes.
But nobody knew us, and we had an opportunity straight from the Gambia to come to go to Bethany or for wherever we were, and we took the opportunity. But it's one of the aspects of my job that I really love because I'm a people's person.
Yes.
And we are getting to this world. It's the time of interdependency.
Yes.
People need each other,
Yes.
through trade and whatever.
Yes.
So having to go across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, to seek players is actually something I'm really proud of.
Yes.
It's very unique because it takes a lot to travel 2,000 miles, sit in front of mom and dad and say, hey, I want your son to come play for me. I'm going to be responsible for 4 years, and when I'm done with him, I'm going to return you a fine gentleman.
Wow.
And that's what we do.
Yes.
So it's very fulfilling, bringing those guys from all over. I don't know if I should say this, but it's almost more fulfilling to bring a player from Iceland,
Wow,
or Brazil or wherever than to just pick up a player from Charlotte,
right,
or DC.
right.
Yeah.
The experience is not the same.
Yeah. So going back to your question, the second avenue that I use to get players is by word of mouth. So now I have connections in Europe already. Our name is known, NC Weslyan. So people are out there constantly sending me emails, hey, or phone calls, hey, I got this player, he's 18 years old, 19 years old, he's a left back, he wants to come to the US, and we recommend him to talk to you. So I'm fortunate that I have that many connections, whereby I don't really have to go to Venezuela, for example. I have 6 players coming from Venezuela.
Wow.
Next Monday.
Wow.
And 3 from Argentina.
Wow.
I haven't stepped a foot on those countries.
Wow.
So sometimes we deal with these recruiting agencies that send us player profiles with their academic information, their height, the weight, and a video clip.
Right.
So once we get it, we watch the video clip, evaluate them, and if it's somebody that we really are interested in, then we make contact with the agent and make contact with the individual, and just that's how we get it started.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. Now, there are a lot of talents out there all over the world. Even if you go to Gambia too, there are a lot of talents over there. But it's not just talent that you look for. There are other things that you look for.
Yes, yes.
What is it that you look for? Because somebody may be watching this and be like, well, there are a lot of kids here, who can play. How come he hasn't come and get these kids?
Yeah.
But what else are you looking for?
Well, first and foremost, your character is very important. So if we're trying to recruit Johnny, what we do some research on Johnny or Usman, whatever you want to call him. And one of the best ways of doing this is going through it. Nowadays, you can go to Facebook.
Yes.
And Facebook is a good judgment of character.
Yes. Yes. People put a lot of things there.
The videos you posted, what kind of language, what's your dress attire, what's your attitude, your demeanor.
Yes.
So we use that as a judgment of character, and we also do communicate with their coaches. So I want to know what type of player is Usman. Now, I'm going to tell you, the coaches are very, very honest because they have a reputation. So if Usman is the best player on the team and Usman is a headache, and Usman doesn't get along with his teammates and Usman is temperamental, they will tell me. They'll tell you, Usman is a great player. If you want him, you can go after him. However, these are the things you will have to deal with. So, for me, I'm one of those individuals that believe that I can make a difference in those type of players. It may sound odd, but I believe people need a second chance.
Yes.
Because I've been given a second chance many times in my life, whether it's in my soccer career or whatever. So for me, I really have to talk to the person and really get an understanding of who you are, and if you have some fallacies, I want to know why have you been like that in that regard. So, but for the most part, that's what we look for, your character. But also, besides from the character, is your academics.
Yes.
You have to have the academics in order to even gain enrollment here. Once those two areas are you check them off the checklist, then the next is what type of player are you? I'm a very possession-oriented type of coach. I want to watch beautiful soccer. I want to watch teams play like Barcelona, Arsenal, Man City, PSG.
Maybe you should say Liverpool too.
Liverpool back in the days with Kenny Dalglish and
we're still good. We're still good.
Yes, yeah. So I'm looking for, when I go recruiting, I'm looking for first and foremost your technical ability.
Yes.
How well do you play out of pressure? Because if you cannot play out of pressure, it's going to be very difficult to play on my teams because most of my players are very, very technical. So that's what I look for. Then the next thing I want to look for is your vision. You have to have vision. If you have the technical ability and you don't have vision, game over. So vision. And then last but not least, I want to see if you're a two-way player. Are you just going to attack and not defend? Or are you going to attack and get back and defend? Up and down.
Offense and defense.
Offense and defense. Because there's a lot of good players that at any level that can just go forward. But when the ball is lost, they tend to take a moment or two break down before recovering. And at the highest level in any league, at the highest level of any league, you cannot afford to have players that could just fall asleep for a second because they would come to hunt you. So those are the things I really look for. I don't look for speed and size. Unfortunately, a lot of coaches look for speed and size. But I think that once you have good vision, you're technical, and you're a two-way player, the rest can be taught.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just having the skills only is not a prerequisite to being on the team.
No.
It has to do with your vision. It has to do with your academics also. It has to do with your work ethic. And all of these things.
Yes.
So I think that's a good message for all the kids out there who are watching this, thinking that it's only their skill that is going to take them to the next level. It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It takes more than that.
Yeah, it's interesting you said it because I try to help as many. I would love to bring 5 Gambians every year to Weslyan because that means that every 4 years we have 5 Gambians graduated from here.
Yes.
Yes. You're talking about over a period of time.
Yes.
It's a good number. I get a lot of calls, emails. Well, apply. Usually, the process you have to apply online and send me your transcripts.
Yes.
And your whatever they call it, whatever the GC is.
The GC exams.
Yeah, whatever it's called now. It has a different name.
Yeah, West African examination.
But unfortunately, a lot of these boys don't have the academics.
Wow.
I work with Ibu 5 from Banjul, Ibu 5 from Banjul United, and he's tried to help me with several players. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to sort it out. Now there are 2 individuals I was trying to get from FAI, and they're just trying to sort out the finances. But there's a lot of good players out there, but they have no understanding of what it takes to get into college. They just think that if you're a good player, Coach Frank is going to get you in serious, and it doesn't work like that. So I would actually I would love to go to Gambia. I was hoping I could go in December. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would love to have a symposium, work with all the high school coaches and headmasters and headmistresses, and I'll have a symposium about what it takes to get to college.
Yes.
Because I think the Gambian youths need to realize that there's ample opportunities here.
Yes.
There's so many opportunities here. If they could just focus on their academics, then a lot of these kids will be picked up to come to the States. There's so many Ghanaians,
Yes.
so many Nigerians,
Yes.
so many even Senegalese
Yes.
that are playing intercollegiate soccer
Mm-hmm.
or basketball, whatever
Yes.
it may be.
Yes.
But at least for soccer,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have enough. And I think part of it is because of our failure in our education standards.
Wow.
I hate to say this, but I think our education standards in the Gambia has dropped drastically.
Yes, it has.
And it has to change.
It does have to
Yeah,
change.
it has to change.
That I will agree with, just looking at the last West African Examination Council results that came, the failure rate was very, very, very high.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in those kids you will have at least, a few that are really, really good soccer players,
Yes.
but because they do not meet the academic
standards,
they will not be able to make
exactly.
it, So, and now when these kids come, of course, they'll play soccer and everything. But just like you said, you had to go and recruit them, tell their parents that, this and that.
Yeah.
But one important thing is graduation.
Yes.
Like, if you were to describe your graduation rate based on your soccer players, like how would you describe that?
Well, our graduation rate is actually pretty high for me. Actually, we had a luncheon the other day, last week, with our sponsors, and some. It was all the coaches and our sponsors, and they wanted to talk a little bit about our programs, etc. And one thing I said was that there's one thing I'm really proud of that I want to share with you, because in life there's certain things that you do that certain accomplishments you need to share with people.
Yes.
And what I shared with them was I graduated 17 players in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Actually, I said 18, but it's actually 17.
17.
I graduated 9 players this past spring.
Wow.
And the spring prior to that, I graduated 8 players.
Wow.
So 17 players in the last 2 years is a pretty good retention rate.
Yes.
So I'm really proud of that. What that shows is that A, they like the school.
Yes.
B, they like the program. And I think last but not least that they appreciate the coaching staff.
Yes.
And for that reason, they are here with us for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's not going to be fair to ask you who has been your favorite player of all the players that you've coached, but when I came in, I saw a photo of Mamadou Fouti Danso here.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys that have passed through here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, folks like Daboy, Pasalum, and all of these guys passed through here. What can you tell us about some of your previous guys who have passed through your hands? What are they doing now? And those kind of things.
Well, we've obviously Fouti Danso is probably the most successful player that came through Weslyan, and he's doing very well. He's currently playing in Malaysia, in the Malaysian league. Played in the MLS for years and the NASL.
And he's part of the Gambian national
team as well. Yeah. We've had these individuals right here. These individuals right here. I'm sure they'll be pretty happy seeing this. Salvador Junior Benitez from El Salvador, I believe. Mike Brown from Jamaica. Sean Dixon, Jamaica/Canada. John Tubi from Virginia. Yared Yakanikochuk from Ethiopia. Wow. These guys were sent to Iceland to play in the various divisions in Iceland. This is 10, 15 years ago.
Wow.
So and obviously the Icelandic league isn't compared to some of the big leagues, but we were probably able to send these 5 at the same time to go play in Iceland for a season. Yeah. So we've had some good success with sending players abroad. We've had this is another player, Danny Persson, who came here. Was an All-American. Yes. Played for a year and went back to Denmark to play in the first division. Great. We also have, the list goes on. There's a bunch of players up here. Yeah. Some of our regions. Yeah. One of them was Andre from Iceland. Also came here, played for a year. Now he's playing the top division in Iceland.
Yeah, we can take their names,
Yes. Yes. That's Andre right here. He's from Iceland. He was an regional All-American, played very well. This is in 2012, one of the best players I've coached. Wow. In my coaching career. He's playing in the Icelandic national team.
And we have Benjamin
Yeah,
Schmitz.
yes, Benny was actually a product of Hamburg when he was young.
Wow.
But just never made the cut. So I ended up coming to the States to get an education.
Oh, great.
Yes, so there's just a lot of...
yeah, I can tell.
A lot of Ali Mami Kago, one of the best players I've ever coached. He's from Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, yeah.
Yeah, actually plays with the Gambian, the DC, the North Carolina Gambian team.
Oh, good.
And during the tournaments we go to.
Wow.
So yeah, we've had a lot of success with, even though we're a Division 3 program, we have had a lot of success with sending people to play at some pro level, at some level, whether it's some professional or semi-pro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I mean, we are really proud of the job that you do here, Coach Frankie. And now, when I went through your Facebook page, I couldn't figure out whether you were a fan of Argentina, whether you were a fan of France.
Yeah.
And what's up with all these jerseys, man? You got a lot of jerseys, man.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give me some before I go?
I could give a. Well, first of all, your first question is, am I a fan? If you ask Wanda Njai,
Yes.
who's Frankie's team, he's gonna say France.
France?
You ask my friend Louis Tomasi, who I grew up with, he's gonna say Argentina.
Okay.
When I was a kid, when I was growing up, Michel Platini and Maradona were my favorite players.
Yes.
That's why I'm a Juventus fan.
Oh, yes.
That's my favorite team.
Okay.
But also Boca Juniors is my other team. Those are my two, and Real de Banjul.
Okay.
Those are my three. After that, I don't really care for any other club. I'll root for PSG because they have Dani Alves, whom I love.
Yes.
And but those are my teams. But
and now they have Neymar now.
Yes. But when I was young, I was in love with Platini and Maradona. I could not root against them.
Wow.
So I embraced their teams. I actually watched France play Argentina it was a friendly game in the late 80s, and I had a rough time watching the game.
Oh, yeah.
It was and then also my namesake Tigana, that's why I wear number 14.
Yes.
He also played for France.
Jean Tigana.
But Argentina is the first team I ever embraced. In 1978, the day of the World Cup finals, my cousin Jerry Gomez, Kempes, who played for Real, came to my house earlier that day and asked me if I wanted to watch the World Cup final. I mean, I was only 11. We didn't have a TV.
Yes.
I didn't even know who was playing. And I asked him who's playing. He said Argentina and Holland.
Yes.
I said, all right, I'm going to try and come. I never did. But he wanted to know who I was going to root for. I said Argentina. And the only reason is because my grandma used to sing that song, Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
Oh, okay.
And I was in love with the song. And just the word Argentina sounded pretty.
Yes.
So then, fortunately, the next World Cup is 82.
Yes.
And here comes Maradona.
Yes.
So if France played in the World Cup finals with Argentina, to be quite honest, I probably wouldn't want to watch it.
Wow.
It's just like having two sons.
Right.
Which one do you love the most?
Right. And then I saw on your Facebook also, you made this bold statement that Messi is better than Maradona. Is that right?
Yeah, you know what though? I find myself going back and forth.
Okay.
I find myself going back and forth with that argument, with that.
I mean, that is pretty bold.
Yeah, but see, for me, there's a difference. Okay, I think Pele is the greatest ever. Because there's a difference between the greatest and the best.
And the best, okay.
I think Pele is the greatest.
Right.
I think Maradona was the best until Messi came. Let's forget about winning the World Cup and all that stuff.
Yes.
What Messi can do individually with the ball.
Yes.
There's only one player that can do that is Ronaldinho. But Ronaldinho cannot score the goals Messi scores.
No.
Let's just play.
Right.
Let's just do tricks.
Right.
And then one thing I think he did better, Messi was better than Maradona and Pele, was his assist ratio is incredible.
Yes.
The ability he has to find his players. And I also think what separates him from those guys is that he can play as a number 9.
Yes.
He can play as number 7, 11, and he can play as an attacking mid. He can play 4 positions and play those positions very well.
Right.
I don't know if Pele could have played 4 positions. I don't know.
Right.
I'm assuming he probably could have.
Right.
Given how talented he was.
Right.
So Maradona, sometimes I'm torn apart because I believe Maradona is the only superstar that won the World Cup without household names on his team.
Yes.
When they won the World Cup in 82, 86.
86, yeah.
Besides Buruchaga and Valdano, I mean, you talk to a lot of people that understand the game, and they wouldn't be able to name you. The other guy was the centre back, Jose Luis Brown.
Yes.
You know, but Olati coach here, half of the team was playing in Argentina.
Yes.
Whereas you look at the French team that won the World Cup, they were stacked. Look at the Brazilian teams that won the World Cup, the German teams that won the World Cup. So that kind of gives Maradona an edge. But I think between those guys, the difference is a hairline.
Okay.
Hairline. That's the difference.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, but
wow.
Yeah.
So what's up with all these jerseys, man? I see you got a ton of jerseys.
Yeah, I have probably about 300 jerseys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was in love with when I was a kid. Wandanja is a good testament. Mm-hmm. And also my friend Louis Tomasi. When I was a kid, I was so into football.
Yes.
I would go buy the Ons magazine.
Ons magazine.
This is when they used to sell it at the bookstore in Banjul. The bookshop in Banjul, Cameron Street and Buckle. Mm-hmm. And then later when we moved to the Combos, I would buy it every month from the supermarket.
Yes.
And at the time, I couldn't even read French.
Yes.
But I was so fascinated with the players and the jerseys.
Yes.
I was just so fascinated, but we didn't have access to it. So when I came to the States, I started collecting.
Yes.
They're very expensive.
Oh yes.
$85 to $110.
Yes.
But fortunately for me, I do buy them on discount, and I love them. I also given to me as gifts.
Wow.
But now I have a closet. I could probably wear a jersey every day for 9 months.
Wow.
And not wear the same one.
How about that?
So we'll go to my house after and I'll give you one, yeah.
But well, that's great. Yeah. I doubt if you have a Liverpool jersey there because I'm a Liverpool fan.
Actually, I do. I think I do.
You do?
Yeah, I have a couple of Liverpool jerseys.
Oh, great. Great. Now, before we end, I just want us to talk a little bit about soccer in the Gambia. As you know now, I mean, it's not as it used to be back in your day, you know, when we had the assist corps, we have the Biris, the Baimales, and then coming towards the 90s, we have the Chojalos, you know, and now, you know, soccer is not like that back home anymore.
Yes.
What do you think needs to be done, and what do you think is the problem? You know,
I think the first problem with the reason soccer is so stagnant because it hasn't progressed.
Yes.
Is it going backwards? I don't know, but it hasn't progressed. It's because I believe football was centralized in Gambia for so long. It was so centralized. Everything was Banjul.
Yes.
If you look back, and again, people, the boy Banjuls are going to hate me for that. I'm from the Banjul area, but it is something I believe in. I discussed this with T and CC once, and he slightly disagreed with me. When you have a nation that's 330 kilometers long,
yes,
and you have your core players from like a 8-mile radius, I have a problem with that.
Yes,
you know, it took a while for us to even extend our hands to Burkama.
Wow,
because there's a time if you were not Lamin Owens, Komi Owens, and a few other guys that lived outside of Banjul, you didn't play on the national team.
Yes,
there was a lot of players in the combos. The game should have been decentralized a long time ago, like Senegal did, having teams in Chess, St. Louis, Kaolack, everywhere.
Yes.
When Senegal was doing that with their big population, we had everybody from Banjul, Bakau, Serekunda. It was not until my Uncle Fisco took an NPE team to Basse, and they played against Stas Hanyang and his fellows. And these Basse boys beat these guys.
What?
These Banjul boys. Njok Baji Falcao was one of those guys that was playing for the Banjul guys. So now it was them that they saw that talent. And that's how Star Sanyang ended up in Banjul.
Wow.
At Walidan and St. Augustine's. So my point is that should have been done a long time ago. Even after that discovery of those players in Basse, you would think that the clubs, the teams, the FA would say, hey, let's go to Farafenya and find some.
Yes.
Let's go to here and here and find some.
Yes.
That didn't happen. So, and I also, and secondly, when you have a small nation with a small population, where the youths have nothing to look forward to, where players are not getting paid for anything, then you start having, just like everybody goes through the back door. Now, back then, everybody used to have naps.
Yes.
Everybody's leaving. So, so you have, it got to a point where having a great team wasn't sustainable. I remember going back in the 2000s I went quite frequently, and I was helping out with Real de Banjul. I went to Gambia for 3 consecutive years. Every year I went back, there were 5-6 guys gone from the team. Where they're in Europe hustling.
Wow.
So there's no continuity. And because we don't have a large population, if you're in Nigeria, you can afford to do that.
Yes.
They have almost 200 million, but a small country like Gambia, so we've lost so much talent, so much young 18, 19, 20-year-olds that just ended up just leaving, going to Europe just to hustle and just kind of shatter their playing dreams.
Oh.
That's another issue. And I think last but not least, we need to implement high school football.
Yes.
All those players, as you score, Saul Faye, I mean, Luis Top and all those guys, they were found through high school football. It was the backbone of Gambian football.
Yes.
Sheikh Ndur and all those guys. Amara, I remember Amara, even primary school.
Oh, primary school used to be big.
It used to be big. But there's no sustainable high school and primary school leagues.
Oh.
People don't go to those. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I remember when Muslim used to play St. Augustine's, Muslim high school in St. Augustine's. It's real, but like real and Validan. When St. Augustine's played Nusrat, when Tafa Minte played for Nusrat,
yes.
War.
Wow.
So I think that they need to restructure. And I think every club team in Gambia needs to have a U12. Because U12 is when you start teaching tactics, strategies. And whether it's Walidan, whether it's Real, all those teams need to have a U12 team, U14, U16. That way those players are well coached. I think the problem in the Gambia too is that the young players are not coached. They're not taught how to play the game. Because I don't care how good you are. You could be Cavani, you could be Dani Alves, Messi.
Yes.
You still have to learn how to play because you're playing with 10 other players.
Yes.
And I don't think we do a good job teaching the players. And we expect you to play street ball, and all of a sudden at the age of 16, 17, 18, we expect you to go compete with the Ivorians and the Ghanaians and the Senegalese who have been trained through the academies, etc. It's just we're behind. And I think and obviously football needs money.
Yes, it does.
You cannot have success in football without money.
That's right.
And for some reason we have not invested anything in football. Right. You look at our fields. I was again, the truth is hard to show. When I went to Gambia last year, I drove by Old Cape Road.
Yes.
And I saw Steve Biko's training site. I almost cried. There were Steve Biko trains right as you enter Old Cape Road before you get to Cape Point.
Yes.
Right there by the tan. It's a tan. I mean, you fall down there, you're having strawberries all over.
Yes.
That's where Steve Biko trains.
Wow.
The goal has no net. That's the first division team.
Yes.
Do you seriously really think that there's a first division team in Senegal that has a facility like that? No. In Ivory Coast? No. We've gone back. I mean, even teams like Cape Verde, Mauritania, those nations just have surpassed us. They're way ahead of us in football.
Wow.
So, but I think Gambia needs to have a 20-year plan. We cannot sit here and think that we can make changes the next 5 years. No, it's got to be like a 20, just like the Johan Cruyff did with Barcelona.
Right.
That whole project started 20-something years ago.
But do we have that patience? Do you think that we have that patience, to sit down and wait for 20 years to kind of get these kids started at the very young age?
Yeah, we probably don't, the majority, but you just need to have the right people the right people to run it, to run the ship, and to convince people to buy into it. Once people buy into it, 20 years time, I'm going to be 70.
Yes.
So if we start something like that, hopefully the last, 10, 15, 20 years of my life, I can see something fruitful in Gambian football.
Yes.
But it's got to be for our kids.
Yes. For
the next generation. But the government needs to invest in football.
Right.
The companies need to invest in football.
Sponsorship.
We need sponsorship, and we don't have that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in the Gambia, without a doubt. But again, we need better coaches too. We have some good coaches, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But we don't have enough good coaches. And at that level, on each team, you need 2 or 3 coaches.
Right.
If Real Banjul needs 2 or 3 good coaches.
Yes.
Head coach, first assistant, second assistant. They all have to be 3 good coaches.
Yes.
And well educated into the sport.
Right.
But my goal is hopefully one day to go and be the national team coach.
Well, I really hope so because I think you're a very great soccer mind.
Thank you.
And I've talked to somebody who said the same thing too,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
they would really love to see you
Yeah.
coach the Gambia national team one day.
That's
and I
my goal.
hope that will be a reality.
Yeah.
I mean, having somebody there with the experience that you have here,
Yeah.
dealing with these kids, I think it will translate very, very, very well
Yeah,
back home.
yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So before we end the program like we normally do, but for you it's gonna be really tough because I was gonna ask you to give me your favorite Gambia 11.
I can give it.
But I'm gonna need 3 11s because I'm gonna need your Gambia 11. I'm gonna need your North Carolina Wesleyan 11
Yes.
of all time. And being a big world soccer fan, I'm gonna need your all-time 11
Okay.
worldwide.
Wow, okay.
So let's start with Gambia.
My Gambia 11.
We start with
obviously,
goalkeeper.
It's got goalkeeper for me. I love Lindur.
Lindur, okay.
I'm a Real Banjul fan. Sorry, Real Banjul. Lindur is my goal.
Okay, but you cannot put all Real Banjul players now, okay?
So my left back is Komi Owens.
Komi Owens, okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My two center backs, sweeper, stopper. I'll have to put Lamin Owens.
Yes.
With probably Dutsen.
Dutsen, okay.
Yes. And my right back. This is a tough one. I'd probably put Bill Baji there over Gabature.
Okay.
Oh. That's a tough one too. I would Bill Baji or Gabature.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
So and I'd probably put Bill there.
Okay.
It's because I think Bill was more athletic.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the middle, this is where the controversy starts.
Yes.
In the middle, I'm gonna have Seusar, Amadou Adams,
yes,
and Father Laos.
So what fixture are you playing?
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seusar, Amadou Adams, and Laos.
Yes.
Seusar will play as the number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Laos will be the number 8. Amadou will be attacking with the number 10.
Okay.
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 Then I'm gonna have up top. I'm gonna have Biri.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to play Biri out of position because I'm playing 3 up top.
Yes.
So Baimale will be my number 9.
Yes.
He's the best 9 we've ever had.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna have Biri on one flank. And the next flank, I'm probably going to put I would probably put what's his name? That played for the recently that played for the Gambia. That played in the middle of the field, but I think I can play him wide. Because I've seen him play. They used to play in Belgium. The former national team coach, national team player, before Cho. What's his name?
Is it Jeto Cisse or Ibusina?
Jeto.
Oh, Jeto Cisse.
I think Jeto. Jeto is the best player of his generation.
Yes, he was.
So he has to be on that team.
Okay.
I play Jeto on one flank.
Okay.
So it'll be Biri by Male Jeto.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So NC Wesleyan, where do we start? Goalkeeper of all time.
Goalkeeper will be Alberto Fiasca. Right back will be Jason Botani.
Mm-hmm.
Left back John Tupi.
Mm-hmm.
Center backs will be probably there's a couple of players that only played for a very limited period of time.
Yes.
Like Fudi will not be on my team because he only played here for a year.
Okay.
So I don't think it's fair to have him over somebody that played for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So up top, I'm probably gonna have in the middle. I'm probably gonna have Danny Jones as my center back, and that's a tough one. And Drew Witzel.
Okay.
Drew Witzel was my captain last season.
Okay.
In the middle, well, the right flank, I have center forward Ali Kagbo, Lucas Fuentes, right mid. The left mid, I'll probably have a player called Salvador Benitez Jr. Then the 3 in the middle would be Mario Acosta. I'm gonna have to look at this. Is a tough one.
Yes.
Mario Acosta. You've given me a project. Probably that's a tough one. Mario Acosta in the middle would be Mario Acosta.
Mm-hmm.
I got a blackout. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Um, I'll have to go back to that one.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to see if I can just look on my teams here because I just don't want to make. I'll put Mario as the attacking mid.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Stora would be my number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Stora would be my number 6, and John Mendy would play as my number 10.
Is John Mendy that boy?
That boy, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's my Wesleyan team.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, world team.
World team.
Yes.
World team will be Dinosaur in goal.
Italy.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Dani Alves right back.
Brazil.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Center back Beckenbauer and Passarella.
Passarella is Argentina. Beckenbauer is Germany.
Yes. Left back, I would probably put. I'll probably put Marcelo as my left back right now.
Who's that?
Marcelo from Madrid.
Oh, Marcelo, Brazil.
Yeah, yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then in the middle,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have Maradona as my attacking mid.
Maradona, Argentina.
Okay. Zidane
Yes.
as the number 8.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna play through 6 because I pick my team by positions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put Busquets.
Busquets was from where?
Barca. Sergio Busquets.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Sergio Busquets is my 6.
Yes.
Zidane 8, Maradona 10.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have Pele on one flank.
Uh-huh.
Okay. On the other flank, I would probably have I'll have Messi on the other flank.
Mm-hmm.
Pele, Messi, and R9.
R9 means
Ronaldo.
Oh, Ronaldo.
Yes.
Okay. We have to distinguish Ronaldo Brazil or Ronaldo Portugal.
Ronaldo Brazil.
Ronaldo
So Ronaldo Brazil
okay.
will be on as my number 9. Messi will be on the right. Pele on the left.
Okay.
Then you have Maradona,
Zidane,
mm-hmm. and Sergio Busquets.
Yes.
Okay. Dani Alves, Marcelo, Passarella, and
Beckenbauer,
and Dinosaur is my goalkeeper.
Wow.
And I'll be the first one coming off the bench.
Of course, you gotta include yourself.
Yes. And if I could put Amadou Adams in there,
oh, okay.
He's my favorite Gambian player ever.
How about that?
I'd put Amadou Adams on that team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's tough to make a World 11.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It's all based on opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's great. Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna just go ahead and wrap it up here. We will just let you give your last words.
Yeah.
You know, what is it that you wanna?
Yeah, but I think what I wanna kind of mention some people who have been really influential in my career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously. My dad was really influential in my career. He bought me soccer balls and soccer shoes
mm-hmm.
every time he traveled to Europe
at a very young age.
Yes, I was one of those kids that played on the field, and I was the only one with soccer shoes
mm-hmm. at
some point. But I also want to thank I've played for many clubs. My friend Louis Tomasi was the first one that grabbed me and took me to play with the organized team in Banjul and Aki Afdai.
Mm-hmm.
This is before 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Before actually 77, so we were kids. I want to thank Sawalo from Hagan Street, who used to mentor us when I played for Young Nanan, in Latukunda.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck's File,
mm-hmm.
who always encouraged me.
Mm-hmm.
Tijan Sise, who was my coach at Sense at the juniors level.
Mm-hmm.
Tambang Sedi.
Yes.
When we played for Keraba Avenue. And the other guy you just mentioned, Lysona.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were instrumental. Pafai.
Mm-hmm.
Pafai from Bakau
yes.
mentored me, showed me how to play as a sweeper.
Mm-hmm.
Alaji Silla coach.
Yes.
And all the guys that I used to hang out with Dingare, that I used to pick their minds, Palmundao and Idaka, Dutsen.
Yes.
I was a young kid hanging out with all these guys and picking up their brains.
Mm-hmm.
I think without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am. I also want to thank obviously my Coach Cunningham
mm-hmm.
from Bethany,
mm-hmm.
who gave me an opportunity to play at Bethany, and Coach,
mm-hmm.
my Coach Rogan
mm-hmm.
at Hudson Valley, which is my very first college I went to.
Yes.
My coach when I went to Tennessee, Mark Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And all the coaches have really given me an opportunity to play. Also, Sangdong is another guy that I was very close to and talked a lot of soccer about.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie Johnson,
mm-hmm.
and so I mean, the list. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure that I mention those people, especially Chuck's Fowl. You know, and Sawalo, and Pafai, and Alaji Silla. Those guys played a key part in my soccer upbringing by talking to me and encouraging me and showing me really how to play. And obviously all my teammates that I played with over the years. So it's been a great journey. And like I said, you know, soccer is a team sport. You can't do things alone by yourself. You gotta do it with a, you know, you have to be a team player. So but obviously St. Augustine's played a big part in my, and obviously Real de Banjul, because since I was a kid I wanted to play for Real de Banjul. I admired every single player that played for Real de Banjul, and I think those guys really pushed me from the Nyanga Sala days to the players that are playing today. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, thank you for coming.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. And the last thing I just want to encourage all those Gambian youths over there that you know, there's opportunities, and if that they need to focus on their education.
Stay in school.
Yeah, they stay in school, focus on their education, your opportunity will come. And for the rest of the players that are playing at the college level or whatever level you want to try to make professional, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
And you have to be very, very special to make it at that level. But even those that are special have to work hard.
Yes.
So anybody out there that's young, that's listening to this presentation, this podcast, you know, you have to really do a lot of things to make it. You gotta work hard, you gotta stay in shape, you gotta be disciplined, and there's just like 10, 15 factors that you have to meet, and you have to meet all of them to really make it at that level, because at the end of the day, at that level, it's the best of the best.
Yes.
And it's difficult to compete with the best of the best.
Yes.
You have to really work hard to get there.
Well, this just makes me appreciate, you know, some of these professional players, because you just see them on TV and you don't know what it takes for somebody to get from being an amateur player to a professional player, you know. But hearing you, you know, talk about all of these things and some of these things that it takes, it really makes me appreciate them a lot more, you know.
And another guy I would really want to thank is my boy Wanda Njai. Wanda Njai, obviously I can never forget him, because we played against each other at the Navetan level, and he was always encouraging me. He made me feel that I was better than I was. And he actually used to tell me, when I was playing Navetan, he used to tell me that I should be playing in first division with him and his boys. Him and Balu Sama used to always encourage me. So I want to give them some special praises.
Now, one thing we haven't asked you was, what position did you play?
I was a center back.
Center back?
Sweeper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I used to play in the middle.
Oh, okay.
I used to play in the middle of the field.
Right.
And then we had a game, I was center back, didn't show up.
Right.
At the junior Navetan level.
Right.
I was playing for Kelibus in Bakau. We were playing against Santos.
Wow.
Center back didn't show up, and I played center back, sweep, and I played so well that everybody in Bakau said I was going to be the next Lamin Owens.
Wow.
That never really happened.
Right, of course.
But so from that day on, I started playing as a defender.
Wow.
But I started playing as a center mid. I always wanted to be Tigana.
Jean Tigana.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but then when I became a center back, I tried to emulate my game after Passerella.
So if I put you on the field right now, how many minutes can you give me?
I play 90.
You play 90 minutes? At this age?
I play 90 minutes with college players that are fit.
Wow.
I played 60 minutes with them yesterday.
Wow.
And I was playing in the middle, not at the back, which is a lot more running.
And, you know, no disrespect, but you are at least close to 50.
I'm 50.
You are 50?
Yeah.
And you think you can do 90?
I could play 90 minutes without a doubt. Yeah.
So what does it take? Like, I'm 35.
Yeah.
I cannot even do 30. 30 minutes.
Well, I've always managed to stay in shape.
Yeah.
In some way, shape or form.
Right.
But the other part of it is the determination.
Yes.
I hate to lose.
Yes.
I'm just too competitive.
Yes.
My friend John Main, the da boy, said that man bankat la.
Bankat la.
Yeah, man bankat la. So
Yes.
bankat, do that parallel down.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, you know, my body says that I'm a person that refused to get beat.
Right. Right.
And I think I have that still in me.
Yes.
And that's why I can go out there and run with these 18-year-olds. I'm one of those guys, even if I'm playing 2v2 with you and your son.
Right.
You got two sons here. You
Yes.
pick one, I pick one.
Uh-huh.
You better be ready. Because we playing. Yeah. We don't take prisoners.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I hope I can play till I'm 80. I don't know if that will happen. But
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll just leave it right there. Coach Frankie, we
Thank
just
you.
really want to thank you very
Thank you
much
so much.
for taking the
Appreciate
time
it. Yes.
talking to us.
Yes.
It's been an honor. So,
Yes.
Folks, that's it for now with Coach Frankie Taal. It's been an honor. We really, really appreciated him taking the time talking to us. So right now, we're just going to head back to the field
Yes.
and see what's going on out there.
Thank you.